Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 1st. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, let's go. Let's get a few more things here. All right. Well, looks like we're good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. No? All right, cool. So as people join in, I'll go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on our daily chart. So I'm gonna go up to the daily time frame. And I'll start marking liquidity over here. There. All right, going down to the 8-hour time frame. Down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And that looks like that's about it. All right, so we got liquidity marked up over here. Closest level of liquidity down below is going to be at 37,888. And the closest level of liquidity above is going to be at 38,025. So there goes the first two levels of liquidity right there. I'll check on this a little later once market opens. Price isn't super close to it, so we got some distance. And it'll probably move around a bit before it gets to that point. Going over here to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30, mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go up to the 4-hour time frame. See if I can find. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go up to the 4-hour time frame, turn on the high-low indicator over here, identify structure. So this upper level is kind of tight. One more up here. One down here. Go down to the 1-hour time frame. Another one right here. and another one down here. All right, so I got a bunch of structure just marked up over here. I don't think it's super necessary, but I think when the market actually opens, we'll be able to just make some adjustments here. So got the support resistance levels marked up right here on the 1 hour and 4 hour, going back to the 1 minute. So this is going to be the 1 hour level right here. 1 hour support level. Yeah, the resistance is so far up. I'm not expecting this to get even anywhere near it. I mean, if it does, it does. We'll come back to it. But as of now, I think this is probably the only level to look at. And then when the market opens, we'll identify, more structure here. Here's the 4 hour. It's pretty far down. So we'll probably mark up our 1 minute levels as price gets to those points. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for right now. So we've marked up liquidity. Closest level of liquidity above is going to be at 38,025. And the closest level below is going to be at 37,888. Those are the first two levels of liquidity right there. Here's our clean chart. We have 1 hour support level down below, but it's kind of far away. So it's probably not going to touch that today unless it swings back down, during the session. We have some high impact news today, so just keep that in mind. Looking over here at our main chart. So for today, we had news at 4 o'clock, 5:15, and 5:30. So 4, 5:15, and 5:30. Let me go and mark that up real quick. So 4 o'clock. Got weird times for these news events. 4 o'clock, 5:15, and 5:30. So 5:30 was actually this really small candle over here. 5:15 is going to be spread count down here. Okay, so we have news like all down below here. We have some more news events coming up at 6:45, 7, and 7:30. So I'll mark that up over here as well. 6:45. 7 and 7:30. We'll spread out. And that's about it. So the news this morning was pretty much flat and positive. Now, obviously, you can see over here, there's a big push from 5:30, which pushed price all the way back up. So guys, we got market opening up in about a minute. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, first of the month. So be a little careful with like how market moves, of course. It's typically like that first of the month. First of the month typically acts like a Monday, Friday. As you guys know, market's been kind of ranging all throughout the week. So we will we'll see if it stays within that range. But all right, guys, market is opening up in about 30 seconds. Looking over here at the trend's currently bullish right now. So if you guys are looking for a PRB, it'll probably be for a buy. There's no breakout V3 setting up here just yet. And we'll we'll see where this takes us. All right, market is opening up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We got this huge candle right here. Let the market breathe a little bit. And stabilize. The ATR is pretty low right now. It's currently at 11 ATR. So candles are kind of big, but the movement's not very heavy. So let's go ahead and mark up opening price over here real quick. We got this, color that blue. Got that marked up right there. Got that markup right there. There. In the chart. Looks like liquidity over here might be getting hit. Yeah, I just got hit right there. Just tapped it. Obviously, you want to be careful with these opening movements. So let me check over here if there's any sessions above. This might be the highest point. Yeah, it's the highest point right there. So the sessions right here touched, lined up with liquidity. Looks like liquidity hit full TP. So if anybody took that liquidity right there, went straight to full TP right there on touch. All right, so we're just gonna wait. There's nothing here yet for us to take, so it's got to be a little patient with these entries here. The PRB looks like it could be setting up right now. So the PRB touched on the opening candle right here. It's first step. Next, you're looking for the space consolidation candle, and then after that, the retest. So we got the first touch right here. Space consolidation, pricing's come back down, retrace, reject off the pivot, come back up. That's going to be the PRB entry for anybody who's looking to take the PRB. Momentum is bullish here, trend's bullish with regard to the trend meter and the pivot. So it's looking good for the most part. Other than that, we'll be looking for new opportunities here to come up. So nothing here for us right now. All right, so here we are, just waiting for this here. I mean, there's no structure yet. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the ceiling to be established. Once, the higher high gets established, we can mark this up as a resistance. Price will probably come back down, retrace, establish a lower bottom for the support. And we'll have some structure here marked up on the clean chart. We don't have that yet right now. So we just got to sit tight and wait. Eventually, price is going to lose its steam. It's going to come back down. We're going to be able to identify structure up here for a resistance. And then we'll probably identify a range at that point. So I'm not convinced that today is going to be a super directional day yet. I mean, we'll see what happens here. I think eventually this might just be the initial push. Then price might come back down. I mean, depending on the news later today. So we have news over here at 6:45. It is forecasted to be negative. So it's kind of what I'm expecting. I see some manipulation here to the upside and then possibly a swing back down, once we get to this news over here, if it is negative. So I think here is just pre-news movement. The news here is at 6:45. I think price is just getting pumped up. And then when the negative news comes out, obviously it's going to come right back down, right? So it's just a matter of time. I don't recommend chasing this because you already know what happens when you guys chase something like this. Typically comes back down to bite you. So just be patient with your entries here. I mean, there's no entries here to begin with, so there's nothing for you guys to really want to take. The only thing I can see here setting up would probably be so the MPS already came up over here earlier pre-market. We had a buy signal, the trend here confirmed. Once it confirmed, it retraced down right here, came back up for full TP. So there's no entries coming up. There's no MPS. There's no high-low scalps. There's no pivot scalps. There's no V1 variations. There's no CB. There's no nothing because we're still pushing up to a new high. So in order for us to have some V1s or CBs or anything like that, price would actually have to come down, establish a low, and then swing back up from there. So, all right, nothing here. Liquidity pretty much got hit already. There's no other liquidities nearby, I don't believe. It's pretty far up. The next level of liquidity is going to be at 38,251. So that's pretty much, I mean, it's way up there. So here's our clean chart. Looks like we have a higher high over here. It's not established yet, but we do have that higher high. So we got nothing here yet. Yeah, price coming back down. So with price coming back down over here, this could be the possible PRB entry. All right, so the PRB here, it looks like it might be setting up soon. Comes back down and touch the pivot. This could be the PRB entry. Not set up yet. Okay, so if this higher high here has been, I mean, it's not established. What I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for a low. So we have a higher high right here. When price continues to drop down lower, and now we do have that low that I was just talking about right here. Now that we have that, this higher high has been established. So since it's established, I can go over here to our clean chart, and then I'll mark up structure up here. It's not going to be a clean structure, but this is pretty much going to be identified as the 1 minute resistance level. So you can see that price is now attempting to establish a range. So I'm looking for a lower low. Right here is just a higher low. I mean, price can continue climbing up higher if it wants to. But at this point right here, we can have a potential push back up for maybe a possible, high-low scalp. So we'll see. We'll keep watching for it. I mean, other than that, there's not really much here to look at. So, but what I'm assuming here is I'm looking for the range. So what I'm looking for is a lower low. Price might kind of consolidate here a bit, but once the lower low is established at some point down here, and we get maybe some sort of lower low here, then at this point, we can expect price to range between this area, right? And then we can take trades within this area. However, we have high impact news coming up right here at 6:45. So that's in about, 7 minutes. When that comes up, you want to make sure that you identify where price reacts. Because it's supposed to be negative, but this never tells you exactly what's going to happen. This will just tell you what they're anticipating, but it can easily just go in the opposite direction. Let's see, Nick said potential divergence if it comes up. Yeah, probably another divergence back to the upside. It wouldn't be a momentum divergence entry because momentum signal has already been used. So we need to get another buy signal, basically a fresh buy signal, because I only take one per momentum. So like this one already played out. If you can see over here, we got a buy signal. It was bullish. It retraced right here. It swung back up right here on this green candle. And this was the momentum divergence entry from this morning. For anybody who decided to take it, it was pre-market, so obviously I didn't take it, but this would have been the momentum divergence entry from this momentum signal. So I'm hoping we get a sell signal here, because if we get a sell signal, then this can set up for another momentum divergence back to the upside. So again, we just got to be patient. We got news coming up over here in about 6 minutes, 5 minutes actually. High impact news. So you just don't want to get caught in that. The high impact news is S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. It's inflation news. Then right after that, we have ISM Manufacturing PMI, some more inflation news. ISM Manufacturing new orders, prices, employment, construction spending, JOLTS job quits. There's a lot of news over here at 7 o'clock. So we got this like pre-news over here at 6:45. And then we got the higher impact news over here at 7 o'clock. Well, I mean, they're both high impact, but there's more news events right here at 7. So just treat these news events as catalysts. Identify how price is moving. You guys can see the ATR is picking up super heavy now. So over here, when market opened, ATR was at 11. It's now at 20. So you can see that the market is ramping up for the news events that are about to be released. You can see a lot of people are starting to pile on these sells. The reason why they're piling on these sells is because they're trying to get in early, because this news over here is forecasted to be negative. You can see over here, last month was 51.9. The consensus is 49.9. So everybody's kind of forecasting it to be negative. And you can see a lot of retail here is trying to hop into this because they want to get in before it drops. But the thing that you want to be careful for here is that even though it's negative, price can still spike up in manipulation, right? So I would never trade news like that. I know a lot of people like to do that. They like to get in right before news and then they hope price dumps even further. But what happens a lot of the times is price will come up, spike them out for a stop loss, and then it comes right back down after. So I would never put myself in that position where I'm not in control. So right here, I mean, it's pretty much a gamble. You can see over here we have a double body rejection. This could be a reversal pattern back up. It closes green. But again, I wouldn't mess with it. Yeah, if this candle here closes green, this could be a possible CB entry. Obviously, I wouldn't take it. It's right at the sessions. And we have news over here at 6:45. So price pretty much came back to opening. Blue line over here. Yeah, I'll just sit tight, guys. Sit tight for the next couple minutes. Wait for news here to pass at 7. Maybe we get, or 6:45. Maybe we can cash a trade right before 7 if market reacts already. If not, then I'm probably have to wait until after 7 to take entry here. All right, nothing here yet. The PRB actually didn't come up yet. So you can see this candle here was in a clean rejection. Actually, the PRB did come up on this candle right here. I just noticed it. This candle I just passed, this is the PRB entry. I'm not in this position. I'm just marking it up for you guys, but this is the PRB right here. So we had the rejection right here. This was a space consolidation candle. These were all space consolidation candles because none of them were touching the pivots. This came back down right here, and then this red candle over here touched the pivot for rejection and set up for the PRB entry. So the PRB is currently running right now. I'm not in this position, but I'm just marking up for you guys, for those of you who are looking to take it. The problem with this entry here that I would be careful about is that it's going to have to touch the sessions to hit its TP, right? So you want to be careful because this is an area of manipulation. And then on top of that, we also have news over here at 6:45. So I mean, when news happens at 6:45, one of two things can happen, right? Price is either going to push up, hit your TP, or it's going to push down, hit your stop loss. I don't like taking trades like that because you have no control over like where price is going to go. You're kind of just flipping a coin here, right? It's a 50-50 chance of it spiking to your TP or a 50-50% chance of it spiking to your stop loss because you really don't know. This here might just consolidate for a second, then eventually it's going to spike because it's going to have a reaction to the news whether you like it or not. Again, the news is forecasted to be negative, so taking buys right here would be very risky unless you want to go against the grain, right? Which typically is what we would do, but I wouldn't necessarily do it trading news because news can be anything really. Like you guys saw yesterday, all the news was positive and price pretty much dumped down super heavily. Yeah, CJ said he noticed the PRB and high-low momentum, but it's too close to news and opening price. Yeah, I agree. Too many red flags around this area right here. Plus, I think the news is going to be the worst part because it's going to be hard to tell. But yeah, I can see the high-low momentum scalp right here. This is a good strategy for this type of market, which is ranging. We've been talking about this all throughout the week. We have a higher high right here. Sell signal broken close past pivots 1 and 2. It was touching the sessions, but it did meet the criteria for a high-low momentum scalp. And it looks like it already hit full TP right there. So nice identification of that entry right there, CJ. All right, we got news coming up right here in about 5 seconds. Here goes the news candle. Not as much movement. So the news was actually positive right there. News was positive. It wasn't super positive, but it was better than expected by 0.1 point. So I'm glad news happened down here near opening price so that we have the all the red flags kind of bunched up in this small area right here. I prefer it to be all in one area so we don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, there goes news right there. You can see the news was positive, but price is still coming down a little bit. There might be a correction, there might not. But that's kind of what you want to look for. You want to look for price to react to the news event. So there's no reaction here yet. Market open or the news event happened right here at 6:45. And there hasn't really been a big movement. You're looking for the movement up or you're looking for the movement down. Once you have that movement up or down, you'll know that market has already reacted to the news. And at that point, it'll be a bit safer to look for the next entry. So I wouldn't mind a correction up right now. We currently have the divergence here starting to shift. When the divergence shifts like this and the candle is not actually green, it typically gives you a head start into looking for that pushback to the upside. So we could possibly if we get a nice push up right here, we can get a possible buy signal and then a possible breakout V3 continuation to the upside, right? That'll line up with the divergence. So we'll keep looking. There's no other entries here available right now. Here's our clean chart. Once we get a lower low established, there's still no lower low here. There's a higher low, but there's no lower low yet. So once we get a lower low here, I'll mark up the structure for the support level. Unless price comes all the way down to the support, I highly doubt it. This is the 1 hour support level. It's way far down. Measure it from here. It's about 80 points. That's a pretty far drop to the downside. Doubt that'll happen. All right, still no reaction to the news yet. As you guys know, the news price is right here, this pink line. Seems like the market might just stay flat until 7 o'clock where the actual news is happening. So there's a lot of news events right here at 7 o'clock. You can see ISM manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing new orders, manufacturing prices, manufacturing employment, construction spending, JOLTS job quits, and JOLTS job openings. So JOLTS job quits and JOLTS job openings, this is going to go hand in hand with the NFP news for this week. Obviously, if there's less jobs available, it's not good for the economy. You can see over here, last month was 8.756. This month they're forecasting it to be 8.69. So forecasting negative news here. Doesn't mean it's going to come out negative, but that's what they're forecasting. Still no real reaction to the news here yet. It came down a little bit, but not too much of a reaction, at least not yet. Not a big enough one. So we're going to measure from here to here. It's only dropped about like 25 points. And now it's correcting back up. And this market has been kind of whack. For a spring market, this market hasn't really been so great. At least not in comparison to like what we've traded over the past couple of years, right? You guys have been here for those of you who've been here for the past like 2-3 years. The spring market's usually pretty directional, but it's been pretty slow this spring. The thing with the weather is that it's also cold here in California. Usually it's really warm by now. Like February, it's really warm around now. And I don't know, it seems like that has something to do with the market too, because like 2-3 years ago, the market was super warm, or California was super warm earlier in the year, and the market was super volatile. Right now, the weather is still pretty cold here, and the market's been kind of slow. Typically, like you could correlate cold weather with like a slow market. So like in the winter, market gets cold, market gets slow, and it's cold. In the summer, market's warm, and and here's the BB3 right here. Thanks, Nick. So there's a BB3 setting up right here. The problem with this is that it's right at the session. So I'm not going to take this trade here. This is also a pivot scalp entry, but again, I probably wouldn't take it. What I'll be looking for here, though, is I'll be looking for a possible momentum divergence. So you can see over here, we have a buy signal. We have a bullish divergence here. What I'm looking for next is I'm going to look for price to push up a little bit, retrace a little bit, and then come back up. I don't know if we'll get an entry here before 7, but that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for. So there's no BB3 continuation here. Again, I wouldn't take any entries here because it's touching the session. As you can see how the manipulation happens right when it touches it, right? And this is why we avoid trades whenever they touch the sessions. So if your trade has to touch the sessions, either exit before it touches it or don't even bother entering it. Because you can see right here, it was like right at the sessions, and that's where price got manipulated. Like it couldn't even close past it. Price literally touched it, and then it provided a double body rejection, and now it's coming down. So the level of red flags is going to be sessions, news price, or sorry, sessions, opening price, and then news price. News price isn't always going to be super like important. I mean, depends on the news. Like if it's NFP news or inflation news or CPI or PMI or whatever like has to do with inflation, interest rates, or the economy directly, of course, avoid those news prices. But other than that, like small things like gas stock change, that doesn't really make a big difference. Joel's job openings a little bit, because it does affect NFP. But yeah, for the most part, sessions, I for sure will not trade around the sessions. Like you'll never see me take an entry on the sessions. I created a whole indicator just for that because I knew this is where the manipulation would happen. It would be nice to have a news indicator, but I'd have to like set up some sort of API, and that's just a lot of work on my end. So I'd rather do that manually. But for the most part, the levels of manipulation will go from sessions to opening price to news price. Sometimes you can avoid news. I mean, sometimes you can just ignore news, but for the most part, just make sure you're ignoring the proper news and not the stuff that's important. All right, so we got price coming back down right here. If we get a shift to the downside for a bearish trend, I mean, that's fine. It's kind of doing what we expected. So I said earlier when price was down here, I said price will probably just consolidate a little bit until we get to the 7 o'clock news. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's in a bit of a range. It's not necessarily what I would call consolidation because it's actually moving up and down. And the movement right here is, I mean, it's decent. It's like 50 points, 50 to 60 points. So there's some actual movement there. However, I wouldn't say that it's going to sit here forever, right? I think once the news happens, it's going to push price away. So hopefully between 7 and 7:30, we'll be able to take some entries. Yeah, at 7:30, it's just gas stock, so I'm not expecting too much. This whole day might be kind of rangy, just like Monday and Tuesday, because of the Fed interest rates that are coming out over here. So we got the Fed interest rate decision. We're not really expecting much of a change. I'm expecting it to be neutral. CNBC also reported on that. So they reported on that over here. It says holding a pattern. Don't expect any fireworks from the Federal Reserve closing its meeting today. Yeah, traders anticipate a near zero chance the FOMC will announce interest rate changes. I doubt it. They said they're only making one change this year. So if you guys remember, like last month and the month before, Jerome Powell mentioned that they're only making one change this year. So that change isn't going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen right now. It's probably going to happen closer to like either in the summer or the fall. It's not going to happen in the winter. So they're going to make an interest rate change probably in the summer, maybe midsummer or sometime in the fall. But they already said they're only doing it once, and it's not going to happen this month. It's too early in the year. Too early in the year, and inflation is still kind of through the roof. So not expecting much from there. All right, so we currently have I mean, this isn't going to be really useful to us. I was going to say, because we do have the retracement right here, we still have the buy signal. So there's a possibility of a momentum divergence, but the problem with this is that it's going to be right in between all these red flags right here. So I think even so, we wouldn't be able to take a momentum divergence if we wanted to, due to the fact that price is going to be stuck here anyways. And then we have high impact news over here at 7 o'clock. All right, so we have a sell signal here, or never mind, take that back, it disappeared. All right. Let's see. Barack's asking, hey Sean, joining late, called it any entries. Yeah, no entries yet, Barack. We had news over here at 6:45 and it kind of like, messed with price. And then price has pretty much been ranging since then. So no entries here yet. Oscar said the sell signal closed for him. Kaner said it closed for him as well. Do you guys have it right here on this red candle? Here, let me refresh. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, I don't have one on mine. It happens sometimes. I don't know why that happens. It does happen sometimes to some people. Kaner has it, Oscar has it, Nick doesn't, and Rashida doesn't. I don't have it either. What you might want to do, Kaner and Oscar, is click on this right here to save your chart. Like wherever your chart is, just save the chart first, and then hit Command R to refresh your chart. Or refresh it on the tab. I don't know if you're on the desktop app or on the computer. Just refresh your chart, and then it might update. But I've seen it happen before. Yeah, Natasha doesn't have it either. So it seems like it's just Oscar and Kaner who, okay, perfect. So Kaner, yeah. Gotcha. They fixed it. Yeah. If that happens, guys, just refresh your chart. Sometimes like TradingView kind of lags, especially if you're not on the, I don't know if you're using the desktop app. I'm using the desktop app. So it's like kind of a clear connection. But if you're on the browser kind of lags sometimes. Yeah, Nick said it usually happens to him. Yeah, I've seen it before. All right, guys, we might have a shift to the downside, which is completely fine with me. If we get a trend shift to the downside, we can start looking for a possible sell. We don't need to look for buys today. Looking over here at retail sentiment's pretty much flat. It's 53% short, 47% long, so it's pretty much down the middle. There's not really much of a bias with regard to retail. They're kind of trading on both sides. I actually like it when it's like this because we can trade both directions and not be too scared. So you trade the opposite direction. Looking over at news is coming up in about a minute and a half. And I think that's about it. The Dow is currently pretty much flat. As you guys can see, it's at 0.53 negative. So it's not even a point in the negative. It's just flat right now. So I could trade for a sell. I don't really mind trading for a sell. I'm okay with it. But we do have news over here in about a couple of minutes. Yeah, so this is the actual breakout B3, that Nick mentioned. The actual breakout B3 kind of set up right here. The problem is that it's right next to news. And this is one of the main reasons why I stopped wanting to take the breakout B3 was because there was no way to avoid the news, right? And that becomes a problem because especially when it's a high impact news like this, I wouldn't want to take a trade in the opposite direction. So I wouldn't have taken this trade here, of course. Well, I'm obviously not going to take it. We have some really high impact news coming up in about a minute. All right, we got another buy signal here. We just need price to break out of this range right here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up some structure. It's not really necessary, but I'm going to mark it up here anyway so that you guys can see. Just have an idea of like where price is kind of ranging from. So I'll mark it up over here on the clean chart too. It's not really necessary. I'm going to take this off, once price breaks out of it, but I'll just put this there now so that you guys can see where price has been consolidating. It's been ranging and consolidating within this area. I don't think this is a clean support resistance. It's just an area of consolidation. At least until the news happens right here at 7 o'clock. So we got news in about 30 seconds. We'll see how price reacts to it. It's a lot of news too. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 news events right here. 7 o'clock. 2 of them are high impact, one's medium impact. The rest are low, but they kind of go hand in hand. All the ISM are together. Joel's job openings are together as well. All right, we got news in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here goes the news candle right here. That big push up right there. Big push back down. Lots of manipulation on both sides. All right, so the news was pretty much mixed. So we had positive news over here for manufacturing PMI. We had negative news over here for Joel's job openings, a lot less. So a lot less jobs that are available. ISM manufacturing PMI also negative. All right, so it looks like the bears are in control with this news event. I mean, there's 2 negative news events, so it was kind of expected. So we got this here coming down a little bit. No sell signal, but price can't even get outside of this range. It's trying to close. Let's see. So if this here closes, you might start looking for some sells here if it continues. All right, so we got a pending sell signal right here. There it goes. Price starts to get kind of crazy. So this is why we don't trade around news time, guys, because this is what happens, right? Like I said, you can get whipsawed out of your position pretty easily. And this is what a whipsaw is. So like a lot of you guys here don't, well, majority of you guys understand and you guys know what a whipsaw is, but this is what a whipsaw is. A whipsaw happens when price kind of spikes back and forth and it stops people out on both sides. So it doesn't matter if you're taking buy or sell. Depending on how big your stop loss is, you can get stopped out over here, you get stopped out down here because it whipsaws about 30 points both directions. And this is probably the best. I mean, this is probably the worst scenario that you could be stuck in a whipsaw because it can get close to your stop loss, come to your TP, or hit your stop loss and then go to your TP right after, which is like the most frustrating thing. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you guys where you enter a trade, it like barely taps your stop loss and they go straight to your TP. And if you would have just waited a little longer, it would have, you could have avoided getting caught in something like that. So price still hasn't broken out of this consolidation range. I was hoping the news was going to push it out of it, but I guess not. So I was looking for price to kind of just push out and then climb up higher, retest this higher high, or in the opposite direction, push lower, and then test one of these price points down here. It's all good. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up structure. It's not going to be clean structure, but it's going to be structure nonetheless. All right, so this is the actual structure here. So here is the 1 minute. I'll just copy the one above. So here's the 1 minute resistance. And here is the 1 minute support. As you guys can see, it's not really clean, but it does the job here. You can see where the market is pretty much ranging. So, I mean, it's doing exactly what I said was going to happen, right? So if you guys remember from Monday, Tuesday, like I said, Monday's a feeler day. So on Monday, we already saw this type of market, same type of market, prices just ranging back and forth. Did the same thing on Tuesday, did the same thing today on Wednesday. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Same thing, range. That's why Monday is like you should never miss a Monday trading session. If you guys are going to trade for the week, don't miss Monday because Monday will show you how the market's going to move for the rest of the week. And this has pretty much been I mean, it's been like this every single week. If you can, every week's been kind of rangy, and nothing's really changed. Every week we hope for some direction, but it never happens, which is surprising because we're entering May here. So the market should have been directional from like February up until June. We're like a month away from June, and the market hasn't really moved in direction. So it's a weird year. I mean, it's a weird trading year, but this is why it's important that you guys are understanding how to read the market and you're not just understanding how to trade one way, right? Because if you only know how to trade one way, that's how you get screwed. Like one of the new guys messaged me and he only knows how to trade support and resistance, which is perfectly fine. Support resistance is okay. But he said that, he passed a challenge or an eval. And then after that, he just lost every trade because he doesn't understand how to trade any other type of market. So support resistance, he was catching break and retest. Obviously, you can see over here, there's no break and retest. There's just there is consolidation and fake outs. So, it's always important that you guys understand how to actually read the market and understand when market's going sideways, when it's moving directional. Because if you only know how to trade one way, like a directional market, you're going to get caught in a lot of fake outs. Because like, for example, here, if you're looking for directional trade here and you're looking for the break and retest, you already know what happens here, right? It doesn't actually break and retest. It comes up, fakes out, and comes back down into the range. So if you only know how to trade direction, you're going to get caught in a lot of these trades and get stopped out. So again, right here, for this right here, price is trying to break out of this area, but you want to be careful. Look out for the fake out. That's typically what I look out for. If price continues climbing up higher, then great. At that point, yeah, continue looking for the continuation. But at this point, I think here you probably want to look out for the fake out. The divergence over here didn't really cross over yet. Same. Yeah, I wouldn't say the divergence here really crossed for a bearish retracement. I mean, it kind of did right here, but not really. I want it to be like super clean. So what I'd be looking for here is I'd be looking for the retracement. So I'm fine with price breaking out of this area. I actually want it to break out of this area. And now I want to look for the retracement. So we're now outside of this consolidation range. I mean, this could easily just be a fake out, but if it does continue climbing up higher, this is fine. If it consolidates within this area right here, I'm fine with that too. So I want price kind of climb up a little bit, consolidate, come back down, and swing back up. But you guys see the fake out right there? This goes back to what I just said. So like if you're a support resistance trader or a break and retest trader, this is where you're gonna get screwed a lot because it's not actually break and retesting. It's kind of consolidating within this area and probably gonna fake out. So look for the fake out. Right here, price is still a possibility of faking out, or it can also break up above. So right now it's within this middle area. Look for two things. Look for the continuation or look for the fake out. Let's see. Daniel over here said the MPS just hit. Yeah, it looks like there was an MPS, but it was right at the sessions, like Daniel mentioned. It's just not a good area to trade in. So we had a buy signal right here. The trend confirmed around this area, retraced on this red candle. The entry would happen right here on the 20 mark. And that would have been the MPS entry. However, it's right at the session, so not exactly one that I would personally be looking to take there. It's 7:08 right now, so we got some time until now and 7:30 and even further 7:40. So we still got some decent time here to look for some entries. The ATR is at 25 right now, so that's pretty decent. There's some movement, not much direction, but there is some movement in the candles. And that's kind of what we need here. So as long as it stays above like 15, I think we're fine. Here's a consolidation here. So what I can see happening here now is this is what I call a churn. So it looks like market makers are churning traders right now. I think it's going to consolidate here a little bit once they realize which direction they want to push price. If there's more buyers or sellers in the market, they'll push price up or they'll push price down. This is the worst time to be in an entry because you don't want to be in an entry when market is churning. It's just going back and forth. So you can see right here, it's consolidating, it goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. Eventually, it's going to break out. So you're either going to get lucky or you're going to get very unlucky. And you don't want to be in a position like that. You want to be in a position where price is moving directional or it's moving towards your position. All right, so we're having a bit of a retracement right here. I don't know if it's going to be strong enough, but the problem here again is that it's at the sessions. Again, this is another reminder why we don't trade at the sessions because this is where you get caught in. And this is going to suck because this is going to break below. It's going to have the retracement, but then it's going to be stuck at the session. So I'm hoping right here that it closes bearish and then it swings back up and then we have some sort of entry up here because I'm looking for that momentum divergence. That's where I'm looking to take my entry. I don't want to be anywhere near the sessions right here. Okay, perfect. So this might be a momentum divergence here, guys. So we have the retracement right there. You guys can see we have the red over the green. So we have a retracement divergence right there. So I want to make sure it doesn't touch the sessions here. Okay, so this is touching the sessions. This isn't going to be the entry, of course, but maybe in the next 2 or 3 candles, we might have opportunity there for a momentum divergence type entry. So I'm okay with it bouncing off the pivots and bouncing off the sessions here, but eventually when the entry comes up, I need it to be a little bit higher, like around this area up here. And this could set up for a possible high-low scalp as well. So I'm just using multiple confluences here to look for these opportunities to come up. All All right, so if we get a, well, we're probably not gonna do it here. If we get a pretty strong green candle here, or a couple strong green candles, we might get that divergence. We're not getting it here yet, but if this here keeps climbing, we might have that possibility. So I'm looking for a little push up, maybe like to this midway area, and then the next candle push up higher past the high-low scalp right there. Obviously, I won't take anything off this candle here because it is touching the sessions. But it's starting to set up for the entry that I'm looking for here. And this would be the entry, but I'm not looking for this one here, at least not yet. Okay, so the next candle here after this one. All right, so this next candle here has to be like a pretty decent green candle. Like it's gonna have to close somewhere like up here. It's gonna have to close as a high-low scalp. If this here closes as a high-low scalp, or if it closes with a pretty decently strong green candle, I will take this here for a buy. It's gonna be a momentum divergence, but it has to close as a strong green candle. It can't touch the sessions. So that's what I'm looking for as well. It can't touch the sessions and it's got to push up a little higher. I'm okay with it touching the pivots, but it can't touch the sessions right here for sure. I close up here somewhere. So it might not be this one. It might be the next one, next candle, or even the candle after that one. All right, touch the sessions. I mean, it wouldn't matter. I'm not taking this entry here either way. Okay, so there goes the setup that is probably not going to happen. Okay, so here we go. We're back into the range. Fake out happened. So as I mentioned earlier, look out for the fake out. Fake out right here happened and it pulled back into the range. So that's fine. I mean, it's okay. It pretty much did the analysis that we were looking for. It didn't continue climbing up higher. I was hoping it'd climb up higher, but it didn't. And now we are back into the range. All right, we have another attempt here. We can't get that sell signal. If the sell signal comes up, it's going to screw up the whole setup. So let's see if it swings back up here. Again, you guys can see it just gets clearer and clearer how important it is that you avoid the sessions here. As you can see how this here plays through. So I'm not taking this as a high-low scalp. Okay, this over here, if this candle closes green, I will be taking this here as a momentum divergence and a high-low scalp. The candle's got to close green though, so just keep that in mind. We got a long time on this candle. We have 40 seconds left. So it's got to sit tight, wait for it. It's got to be a pretty obvious green candle too. It can't be anything like where it comes down at the last second. So we got 20 seconds left, a lot of time. There's no rush. You can see here it's pulling back down. Again, just waiting for confirmation here. We got 10 seconds left. Candle's closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in the position.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, so I'm in it right now. Watching it right here. Pushes through.
Order submitted.
Out.
Order filled.
All right, quick profit right there. I got partial. I should have just held on to it, but it's all good. I got in a bad entry. So full TP right there. Did exactly what we were looking for. We had the momentum divergence. It lined up with the high-low scalp. Perfect entry. So there we go. First TP right there. And like I said, guys, you just got to be patient. These entries are going to come to you. You just got to wait. They'll come. So pretty solid win right there. Let me go in and copy this. Casey's retired from that range from earlier, right? Yeah, literally. All right, let me mark that up right there so that we know what time the entry came up. All right, so I need that. I need that little win right there to bump me up from the mistake yesterday. Man, the super dom pissed me off yesterday, guys. Like I usually don't get like affected by mistakes, but like that mistake was such a dumb mistake. And I should have never even tried it, but okay, I'm glad that we're back. It's just worse. It's worse when you make when you like take an L, but it's like something that shouldn't have happened. If you took it, if I take a loss in the strategies there and it lost based off the strategy, that's completely fine. I'll take all those losses. But when I'm making a dumb move, um, when I'm taking a dumb entry or if I do something dumb, it like really messes with my psychology. It's like, how could I possibly make a stupid mistake like that? So all right, there goes the first entry for the day. And we'll keep looking for more, guys. I'm not done yet. Don't worry, I'm not done yet. We'll keep looking for some more opportunities here. Possible high-low scalp again over here. I probably won't take it as a divergence, but I mean, maybe I will. We'll see if it swings back down. The divergence would be a good confluence, but we'll see if there's any more opportunities here. It looks like price might just fake out again and then come right back into the range. See if there's another structure there. I mean, there's a lot of structures here. This might be the new resistance again. So another one right there. All right, let me take a screenshot of my accounts. So I just need one more win, and then I'm going to be back in full profit for the week, thankfully. So thankfully, like I didn't get set back too much yesterday. It's decent. All right, so we'll look for another setup. I mean, there's still opportunity here, but we will continue to see what we got here next. Scroll real quick. Nick's a good entry. 5 minute just printed on the buy signal, 7:15, solid. Daniel's asking, where am I on the challenges? So I got set back on Friday. The last couple of weeks have been like a lot of partial entries. So right now I'm currently like, you're not gonna believe it, but I got set back super far. Like I was initially at like 314, I think around there, and now I'm like set back. Like I'm almost back to break even, which I don't know how this even happened. But the loss from Friday, there was slippage on that. I post my loss. Yeah, there was slippage on that. So I lost like in total from Friday and the partial wins. And I think we had another loss. What the loss from yesterday was there was like a ton of slippage on that trade. So I lost a lot more. I lost almost like 3,000 on that. So I'm like below 310 right now, which man, the eval phase for like Apex on the 300K is like it's a lot harder than you might think. This is why I didn't want to do the 300 initially to start, because it is a lot harder. Like it's way harder than the 150. Like the 150, it was pretty smooth. I think I could pass the 150K like pretty easily, but the 300K, it's a big difference. It's like I was hoping I'd be able to pass it within a month, but it's not that easy. Because the thing is, it eats into your, like, so when I take partial entries or partial profits, it eats into you have to pay commissions on that. So you don't really get partial, like sometimes I'll get half profit, but realistically, it would be like even less than that because you have to pay commissions on the trade. So every time I made like 400 bucks, it was really like 200 bucks. Or if I made like 600 bucks, it was like 300 bucks. I'm like, fuck, it's gonna take me forever to reach 20,000 because the goal for a 300K count is 20,000. And even though you stack up these little profits here and there, like even though we had that big win streak, those win streaks, a lot of them were partial. Like today's win was partial too. If you look at mine here, I mean, it wasn't 1,000, and then I still got to pay fees on it. So I made 700, and it's so yeah. Short answer to your question is no, I'm not close to passing it, but I'm getting there. It's gonna take maybe another couple weeks. This market also sucks. I was expecting to maybe catch like 2 entries a day, but like 2 full entries, right? 2 full entries is solid, so I can make like 1,000, 2,000 per day, but we're not even getting these full entries. Like for this one right here, I pulled out like because I didn't get a good entry point, and this probably counts as like not even one full entry, maybe like half of one full one. So Medu's asking if I would consider a high-low V2 here. Let's see. So we're talking about this one right here, right? I'm gonna do the previous higher high. Let's see, so we got the higher high right here. Price broke past it, came back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it looks like it's gonna. I would have taken it. Yeah, if this would have came up here, I would have considered the high-low scalp V2, but it's like I think 5 candles have passed already. Yeah, but it would have been good because this is a ranging market, so that's where the high-low scalp V2 actually plays very well. I don't know if this one over here, did this one play through? No, this one neither. So neither of these high-low V2s played through. But if this one did pop back up, I would have been okay with that because the market's going back and forth, and that's where the high-low scalp V2 actually works out very well. There's no entries yet, guys. I'm still looking for entries. I'm just looking at the questions here as well. Let's see. Nick said, I believe that's how it goes, broski. Welcome to the world of us mortals. I know this 300K account really like it kind of humbled me a bit because I'm making a lot of profit across all the accounts, but it's not enough for like one account. So the thing is, once I do get these all done, it's gonna make like all the difference, right? Because it's all gonna be like I don't have to worry about getting partials. I'll be okay with getting partials, and I'll be lowering my risk. Um, with this here, with the 300K, like just trying to pass the eval it's super risky because you want to take more risk, but you also don't want to overdo it because it's going to be really easy to eat into your trailing drawdown. That's kind of what ate into me too. Like, yeah, another follow up here from Daniel. He just mentioned, yeah, close to trailing then. No, my trailing is actually full because, well, I mean, I guess now it's kind of close. So I'm probably like maybe 1.5 away from it, but the win from today kind of pushed it back up. So now I'm like about 2. So which is like around 5,000. So that's another thing that comes into play when you're trading the 300K. The trailing drawdown, it really creeps up on you super quickly, especially if you're taking higher risk. Like I'm taking 20 contracts here because I'm trying to pass it within a month. But I think for the 300K, like Apex is smart. I didn't really think about this, but they're really smart about how they set up the profit goals. Like it's not really realistic to pass a 300K within a month unless you're taking like bigger trades. But for like the regular scalps that they actually want you to take, like the trades we're taking here, it's gonna take you like close to like 2 months. Like they've really calculated it to where it makes it almost impossible to pass it within a month. And they have like all these promos going on because they want you to take more risk. Like I wouldn't be taking 20 contracts now if they didn't have the half off resets because it only cost me $1,000 to resettle my accounts if I needed to. But a lot of people are YOLOing it, trying to pass right away. So if you want to do it the proper way, it's going to take more than a month to pass a 300K. Yeah, exactly. Patricia said the 50Ks are the best. I agree. 50Ks are the easiest ones to pass. You can probably pass those within a month for sure because I think the profit target is like, it's like 4%. And then with the 300K, it's like double that. So it takes so much longer if you're trying to trade properly. All right, so we got price pushing up. Yeah, also, and then Rashida said the profit target and drawdown is ratio is great for the 50K. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of annoying because for the 300K, your trailing drawdown is a lot smaller, and then your profit goal is a lot higher. So you have to be super, super careful. Um, but once you pass it, then great. You're pretty much set because you have the biggest account, and then you can just lower your contract size, and you can just trade normally. But yeah, right now it's just the eval phase is super annoying. I hate the eval phase. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys do, um, because it always feels like you're pressured to take trades. Like for example, like yesterday, I felt pressured to take a trade, and I took that trade that I wasn't supposed to. Well, I mean, it was an okay trade if it would played out properly. But yesterday, I put that pending order, and it filled right away because I didn't realize how the super down worked. In a normal situation where I'm like all PA'd out with 300K, I wouldn't have taken that risk. I would have just sat out of it and just had no trades for the day. It it's annoying. It's annoying. The eval phase is super annoying. Yeah, Nick said realistically at this rate, I personally feel like it may take you another couple of months, maybe one full trading month to here to finish. Yeah, and I agree too, Nick, 100%. Because I'm still trying to be careful. It's tough because I want to be careful, but I also want to pass. You know, uh, because like having all of the and all these my accounts might get funded at different times because you guys will see my profits sometimes they're like different. Like for some whatever reason, my main account over here is always locking in less than my other accounts, which it should be the opposite because it's executing first. But I mean, it is what it is. And then this one up here is my personal account. So I'm still making money on my personal account and then my 20 other ones. All right, so we have a possible opportunity here for a high-low scalp. I'm not going to take this as a standalone high-low scalp, guys. I would have taken it if it was a momentum divergence, but I'm not going to take it as standalone. So again, right here, like I'm saying, and it's also really close to news. We have news over here at 7:30. Wait, Josh said between, hey Josh, so you're still in this one right here, right? Oh, so it's okay. Hopefully it pushes up then. Josh said his two of his EA accounts didn't close. He's still in the position from earlier. Hopefully it pushes up right here, Josh, so you can close out in profit. Or maybe you already did to push back up into profit right here. Yeah, whenever you guys take a position, especially if you're using a copier, make sure that you're following it to see that everything closes out. For me personally, I always have my account, my control panel window open so I can see all my accounts that are active. And whenever I close my trades, I always hit flatten all as well, just to confirm it. Yeah, Frederick said I'm on my fourth 300K reset. Should have done the 150K then. Yeah, no, I think the 150K. So if you guys are thinking about like which accounts to do for Apex, the 50K is going to be the easiest. That's for sure going to be the easiest. You can pass that pretty quickly as long as you just trade properly. The best option, I think the best bang for your buck would be the 150K account. And then if I think that kind of threw me off because the 150K was kind of easy to pass. So I went from 150K to 300Ks. Um, the 300K is a beast. Like don't let it fool you. Like it's a big account, but it's gonna take you a long time to pass it. So yeah, if that's the case, Frederick, and you keep having trouble passing the 300K, I would probably recommend you drop down to either the 50K or the 150K. The good thing is that the promo is still going on. So if you guys are still trying to get an account with Apex, they actually they extended it for another month. This same promo has been going on for like 3 months now. It happened in March, and then they extended it to April, and then they extended it to May. So don't worry, guys. You guys don't have any rush. You don't have to pass right away because the promo is still there. So if you ever need to do a reset or if you want to get another account, um, you guys can still have that opportunity. So my main thing was I was trying to pass right away to get to this here, but it just renewed, so I don't really need to rush anymore. I got a whole month again. The news over here at 7:30 was pretty much neutral, guys. There was one negative news over here, medium impact. Everything else is pretty much neutral. So one negative news event right here at 7:30, price is kind of reacting to it right here. Not heavily, but it is reacting to it slightly. What I'm hoping for here is I'm hoping for a sell signal. So I would like a sell signal, then I'd like a buy signal to push price back up so that we can get a momentum divergence, somewhere up here. There's just nothing here yet. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so yeah, Josh said that he got an error message on the Replicano and he saw a yellow light instead of a green light. So if you ever see that, um, yeah, because I always have the lights open on mine too. I never really have that problem, but if you do see that, make sure did you try to, or I wouldn't tell you to flatten all right now. Did you try to flatten all, Josh? Like when you were trying to get out? Because typically when I go out, I'll close and then I'll go to my Replicano and I'll click flatten all. That usually close everything out and make sure that everything's closed. Otherwise, I'd be trapped in the position. The only other thing that I know that I could do is I would go to Apex and I would do flatten all on the actual Apex website. I had to do that once when Replicano froze on me. Oh, Roosevelt. Yeah, my bad, bro. I get you mixed up. There's someone that has like a similar name to you that's in here, and he goes by Frederick. So I was calling him Roosevelt before, and he was like, "This is Frederick, not Roosevelt." But now I know. All right, thanks for correcting. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Josh didn't flatten yet. Here, let's do a full analysis right now. Let's just see like where price is probably gonna go. Hoping price pushes back up for you. I think it will. It's just probably gonna be a matter of time. So it's probably gonna happen a little later, like maybe closer to 8, maybe closer to 9. So right now, currently it's 54% short. This indicates that 54% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So typically you want to do the opposite and buy. However, it's pretty much flat. So it's not really one-sided. Generally, you want it to be around 65% or more. So it'll be one-sided and you'll know exactly which direction to trade. Right now, there's just not much going on. Looking over here at the news for today, what might happen is you might just get a flat market until like 11. So the Fed interest rate decision is forecasted to be flat. So if it's flat, I think this will push for a bullish market. Because obviously, if the interest rate isn't going up, money's going to stay the same. Things are going to go unchanged. So if anything, I mean, for today, market might go sideways for a really long time. You can see how the range is sitting right here. There's a new range right in between. I mean, you can see right here from the clean chart. This is the new range within this middle area, and it's kind of just going back and forth in consolidation within this area here. So what's going to happen here is it'll probably continue to range here, maybe push up a little bit, maybe range even more. And then eventually at 11 o'clock, I think price will just kind of push up because when the interest rate gets released, it's going to be pretty much flat. And that's going to be good for the economy. Well, not really good for the economy, but neutral. Looking over here at CNBC, so there's a couple updates here. So it says DJT shares crack $50 as Trump media continues stock bounce back. It's crazy how I mean, so Trump's stock is like basically a meme stock at this point. It's a meme stock, so it just keeps bouncing for no reason. There's no profitability behind it. There's no real. People are just messing with it. I don't know if anybody trades the stock. I would never trade it. Well, if I was to trade this, I would trade it with like money that I'm planning on gambling, right? Because it's tricky. People are buying, people are selling. You don't know when this thing's gonna actually dump like super like through the floor. I think eventually this is gonna dump through the floor. And then when Trump starts to campaign, it's going to bounce right back up. It's just going to be it's going to be a mess, of course. And then right now, the acting Labor Secretary, Julie Su, is testifying on the Labor Department's policies and priorities. So this is happening right now. There's obviously this is going to affect a lot of businesses because of the Labor Department's policies and priorities, what they're looking to focus on. But again, a lot of that stuff doesn't really have a direct effect on us. It's all of it's a cursor to like what's going to happen next. So they'll be reporting on that stuff. The Donald J. Trump app is not part of the Dow 30, so it's not really going to affect YM. And like the testifying over here is not really going to affect stuff right now. It's going to affect stuff later on with whatever passes, but at this very moment, nothing here is going to affect what's going on with price. Daniel said Apex is like Banana Republic, sales sign 365. You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong there. All right, so we have a buy signal that's currently pending right here, guys. The ATR is starting to drop down, so I don't know if we're going to have any more entries. That buy signal is coming up though, so I'm hoping that buy signal comes up. We get a push up right here, so Josh can get out of his position, push back down for retracement and continuation back up. Maybe break structure right here for a high-low scalp, and then provide some sort of opportunity here for entry. But the ATR is driving down, so you can see right here it's pretty much at 16. As we get closer to 740, it'll probably drop down to 15. As we get closer to 8, it'll probably drop down below 15. All right, Oscar. Oscar said he's done for the day. Brock's done for the day as well. Nick said Trump life is a meme. I agree. For some reason, I thought the presidential election was happening this year, or they were going to start campaigning this year. We're in 2024. Is it this year? Let me check. It is 2024. It's weird because, I mean, it is 2024, but I don't really see as much campaigning going on. I know it's for a re-election, but still, I don't see as much going on. I think Trump just feels like he's going to win already. So I know he's campaigning a little bit, but he's not as crazy as it was like the first time around. I think he either thinks he has it in the bag or he doesn't. So, because I don't see him campaigning as much as he used to. The thing is, when he was campaigning for his first presidency, the market was going crazy. That's why I was kind of excited to trade this year, because I was like, okay, it's a presidential election. Trump's probably going to win. He's going to go crazy with his campaigning, and I don't really hear from him at all. I see him in the news every once in a while. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said he can't campaign when he can't leave the courthouse. Yeah, I know. It's that's really what it is. He has so many lawsuits going on. But yeah, I think once he starts campaigning, the market's going to be a lot more volatile. I mean, it's still May, so I guess we still have quite a bit of time from now until November. So we might have a late start to this year. So once he starts campaigning, probably in the summer, the market will start to move a lot more volatile. Because the market here is just not it. As you guys can see, it's not really doing much here. It's going sideways. I think the market's going to keep going sideways until possibly 11 o'clock, like I said earlier. Here is our clean chart. You guys can see things here a lot cleaner. We have a big range right here. So within this range, I think this is probably going to be the range until 11 o'clock. You guys can see price, it just floats. It floats from range to range. So price had that initial push up for the breakout, came back down for retracement. We have the range here, price pushed up, range here. If anything, price will push up maybe a little further, range up here, come back down, range down here, come back up, come back down, maybe even come down here. Like this whole area is probably going to be the big range. And then at 11 o'clock over here, when the interest rates come out, I think people are going to start acting a little earlier. So I think what's going to happen here is, so I think price might just range within this area. And then maybe around 10 o'clock, it's going to start climbing. Like before the news event, before the interest rates come out, it's going to start climbing and then it's going to start ranging again right here. I think ideally this is probably what's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be big pushes to the up or big pushes to the downside. I think price will just consolidate and range within this middle area. And then as we get closer to like say 10 o'clock over here, people are going to start entering into the buys because they're already forecasting that price, that interest rates aren't going to change. So this will go sideways and then it'll just start climbing a little bit. And then once the interest rate comes out, it'll probably spike a little bit and then just sit and then maybe come down for retracement. And that's just from historical like patterns that happen when news events like this play out. I mean, we already knew price was probably gonna go sideways today because of the interest rate decision. And we're not expecting any changes from now until like probably the end of the year. All right. There you go, I just saw that picture. All right, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat, guys. I mean, unfortunately, there's just nothing going on here. Like I said, price is probably just going to consolidate within this area, down this middle area for the next couple hours. And then as we get closer and closer to 11 o'clock, we're probably going to get some direction. As you guys can see from the ATR, it's starting to die down a little bit. It's just sitting at 16 right now. And if this here just stays flat, it's going to stay at like 15, 16 around there. There we go with the rejection off the lower range. And we'll see this if this here just bounces right back up. Or a fake out. So you could look out for the fake outs over here as well. If you guys are looking for the correction back up, you can look for a possible push down, fake out, and then come right back into the range over here. Ideally, that's probably what's going to happen, unless you see like something like this, a double body rejection. So there's a double body rejection right here off the lower low, off the structure. This could be a possible reversal right back up. So you might see like a lot of these bounces happening within these two range points. But you guys can see from the ATR, it's starting to slow down. It's at 16.25. I wouldn't be surprised if it drops down to 15 in a few. Yeah, no updates from CNBC over here. And there I go with the correction that I just mentioned. Yeah, it's pretty much going to sit within this range here. Hopefully it pushes right back up. I don't know if you're still in the position, Josh, but I'm hoping it pushes right back up to the upper resistance level. That's kind of what I'm hoping for you here. It pushes back up here. At least you get out at break even or with some profit. Come back and touch the resistance level right there. Let's see, CJ said, I have two 150K counts, but considering getting a few 50K counts with a new sale, what contract size would you recommend for the 50K count during the eval stage? So what's the trailing, what's the max drawdown for the 50K, CJ? Do you have any idea? Because I have a breakdown of like, thanks guys, 2,500. Okay, so I would probably divide that by 3. I mean, depending on how fast you want to pass it, let's see. So 2,500 divided by 3, 833, 2,500 divided by 4. Because we don't really win, we don't lose very often. So you can kind of eat these losses as they come around. So let's see, 5 times or yeah, so 5 times 5 times 10, or sorry, not 10. 5 times 5 times 25. Okay, so yeah, Natasha uses 5 contracts. 5 contracts can get you there conservatively. If you want to take a bigger risk, like if you feel confident, you don't think you're going to lose very much, then you can probably take 6. I don't think you can take 7. Let's see. I want to take 7. Okay, so you can take 5 or 6. 5 if you're feeling like you want to be conservative and you just want to get it done, but you don't want to risk too much. 5 is going to be solid. If you feel confident, for whatever one day, I wouldn't change your contract size every day. So only change your contract size by the week. So like for 1 week, if you want to just get started, start with 5. And if you feel super confident the next week, then change to 6. That's like one of the mistakes that we made for when we were applying the BV3. I was changing contract sizes too quickly. When realistically, you could just change it by the week. And if you feel confident, then great. So yeah, use 5 or 6. 5 is going to give you can have 4 back-to-back losses to blow your account. And then if you use 6, you can have a little more than between 3 and 4. So it gives you a couple different options there and opportunities. Yeah, so I mean for me personally, I would use 6 just because I'm pretty straight up with like the entries that I take. And I'm not looking for anything risky. But if you're looking for risky stuff, kind of tone it down a little bit. So if you do that, so let's just do the math real quick. So if you do that, if you're doing, say, 6 contracts times 5 times 10, you'll make 300. What's the profit goal for the 50K? Is it 2,500 as well? 3,000. Okay, so you need 10 trades, or let's see, so 3,000 divided by 300. Oh, so that's smooth. You need 10, you basically just need 10 trades to pass. And this is what I mean. So you need 10 trades to pass, or 10 back-to-back wins, or like 10 consistent wins to pass a 50K account if you're using 6 contracts. So you guys see how much easier it is? For me, it's like, man, it's a freaking nightmare. So like for me, it's I gotta make 20,000. So I'm taking 20 contracts, which is a huge risk. It's a big risk. I'm taking 20 contracts times 5 times 10. So I make about 1,000. It's not gonna be 1,000. It's gonna be a lot less than that. So I'm gonna round down to like maybe 700 or 800. We'll do 700, right? So I need to make 20,000 divided by 700. I need to make 28 trades to pass. This is the big difference right there, right? For a 50K account, you only need 10 trades to pass. For me, I need like 29 trades, maybe 30 trades to pass. So we went on a nice 17 win streak, and then I had a loss that sent me back a little bit, and I had another accidental loss. So I'm basically back to break even, and not back to break even, but I'm basically there, and I got to come back and I got to keep pushing through. So, hey, Josh, your trade's back in profit, bro. I don't know if we want to take it out. If you're paying attention, if you're here, I just realized that you're back in profit right now. Yeah, I mean, if you want to let it hit, Josh, go ahead, but I would just pull it out right now, bro. You pretty much weather the storm way down here, bro, for to come back in a profit. Just a heads up, you're still in here. But yeah, you guys see the difference right there. So for me personally, I'm on a 300K account, and even though I'm taking like wide risk, I still have to take like 30 trades to pass, which is freaking mind blowing. Like I could pass like three 50K counts in comparison to one 300K count. It just takes a long time. So I don't really recommend 300K counts unless you're going for like bigger targets, because if you're taking these scalps here, it's going to take a really, really long time to pass. And hopefully this gives you guys some understanding as to like why it's taking me so long to get through this. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll be good, which I should be. But then again, I'm not going to force anything. All right, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. As you guys can see from the ATR, it is pretty flat right now. Well, not flat, but the volume is pretty low. Nice. Okay, so Josh got out in profit. Awesome, Josh. I was kind of just hanging out on here for you because I wanted to see this come back up. I knew it was going to come back up, like I said earlier. So you guys can see my markup right here. It did exactly that, right? So I said, look out for the fake out. We had the double body rejection right here with the lower low. That's a V1 variation. That's a reversal pattern. And you can see prices pushing right back up to the upper resistance level. I probably should have taken a trade with you here and just wrote this up, but obviously I'm not going to take dumb trades like that. I'm only going to take trades if my position is, if there's an actual position there to take. So yeah, no problem, Josh. Josh, thanks, bro. Flattened out and it closed out with a small loss, but it was small. Okay, perfect. No, it's fine. I mean, it's better than a big loss, right? Or like a full loss. At least you recoup that. And in the future, just make sure to look at your flatten all button. So every time I close my position, I always click close and I hit flatten all, even though everything's flat, just to make sure. And then another NPS right here just hit as well. Looks like Kenny mentioned it. Let's see. Yeah, NPS right here at the 50 level. The I personally wouldn't have taken, well, I don't know what the ATR was at the time, but the ATR requires 15 ATR. So I don't know what the ATR was, but if it was 15, yeah, it looks solid. But just a little tricky because the ATR is kind of low. And you guys can see here it's now starting to go sideways again. So again, like I said earlier, guys, this will probably just go sideways from now until 11 o'clock within this range. And then eventually you'll probably start to see a bit of a climb as you get closer to 11 when the interest rates are being released. Yeah, Daniel said so many setups on that push. Yeah, Medusa might get a divergence up here, but the ATR is under 15. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it, guys. If you guys want to take some trades, feel free, but just understand that the ATR is really key here because you might get stuck in this position. Say, for example, you're taking a momentum divergence up here. This thing might just go sideways for like a good 10, 20 minutes, and then it can spike up or it can spike down. So just be smart about it. All right, guys, I think that's it for the day. I'm happy with my profits. So you guys can see over here, here are my profits for the day. I locked in 700 times 19 plus 16 plus 335. Total profit. Oh, man, what happened there? Okay, 700 times 19 plus 600 plus 335. Total profit of 14,235 for just one trade today. Again, this would be nice if everything was passed and it was funded, but it is what it is, and I just gotta keep grinding away until I get to that point. So, all right, guys, there goes my profits for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live.